What if your desperate attempts to manifest are actually pushing your desires further away? Neville Goddard hinted at this shocking truth in his lectures, but most teachers ignore it completely. Picture this. Every time you frantically visualize your dream life, you're secretly telling your subconscious one devastating thing: you don't have it yet. That's why affirmations feel hollow. That's why vision boards collect dust. The real secret isn't in straining to believe, but in the quiet moment when you stop trying altogether. Neuroscience proves it. Your brain manifests fastest when you're not forcing it. The greatest irony: the less you do, the faster your desires materialize. And today, you'll discover why Neville's most powerful technique requires no effort at all. You've been lied to, not by Neville Goddard, but by the people who watered down his teachings. Every time you sit down to visualize, every time you repeat affirmations like a mantra, every time you force yourself to feel it real, you're doing the exact opposite of what actually works. The truth: manifestation isn't about effort. It's not about grinding or convincing the universe. And if you keep pushing, you'll push your desires further away. Neville knew this. He called it the Sabbath, the moment you stop striving and finally let go. But no one talks about it because it doesn't sell courses. Think about it. Why do your affirmations sometimes feel empty? Why do you visualize for months with nothing to show? It's because you're operating from lack. You're begging the universe instead of living as if it's already yours. And every second you spend trying, you reinforce the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The clock is ticking. How much more time will you waste on techniques that don't work? You've been lied to. Not by some shadowy conspiracy, but by the very manifestation advice you've consumed for years. Every time you sit down to visualize, every affirmation you repeat like a prayer, every script you write with desperate hope, you're digging yourself deeper into lack. Neville Goddard knew this, but almost no one talks about the fatal flaw in effort-based manifesting. Think about it. When you're forcing yourself to see it, say it, feel it, aren't you just reinforcing the absence of what you want? Your subconscious doesn't respond to effort. It responds to surrender. The more you try to manifest, the more you signal to your brain that you don't have it. That's why affirmations can feel like screaming into a void, because underneath the words, there's a quiet desperation shouting louder: I'm not there yet. Neville's real secret wasn't about doing, it was about being. The moment you stop visualizing, stop affirming, stop scripting, and simply live as if it's already done, the universe has no choice but to reflect that reality back to you. But that's where it gets unsettling. Most people can't do this, not because they're incapable, but because they've been trained to believe manifestation requires labor. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips through your fingers. That's what happens when you try to manifest. Your desire isn't missing because the universe is withholding it. It's missing because your grip is too tight. Neville's Sabbath principle reveals the paradox. The only way to receive is to stop reaching. The brain doesn't manifest in a state of frantic effort. Neuroscience proves this. It manifests in a state of relaxed certainty, where the thought of trying doesn't even exist. So ask yourself, when you visualize your dream life, is it from a place of joyful anticipation or quiet lack? When you repeat affirmations, is it from fullness or the fear it won't happen? That's the invisible barrier no one talks about. The moment you drop the effort, the moment you stop treating manifestation like a part-time job, everything changes. But here's the hardest truth: you'll resist this, because doing something feels safer than trusting. And that's exactly why most people never manifest what they truly want. Here's the exact 375-word tension section. You've been lied to, not by Neville Goddard, not by the universe, but by the entire manifesting industry. Because here's the dirty secret no one wants to admit: the moment you start to manifest, you've already lost. Think about it. When you frantically repeat affirmations, what's the unspoken message? I don't have this yet. When you force visualization, what's the subconscious signal? This isn't real. You're not manifesting your desire, you're manifesting the of it. And Neville knew this. He called it the sin of Noah's sons, the mistake of looking back at the old reality while pretending to believe in the new one. But it gets worse. The more you work on manifesting, the more you reinforce the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Your brain doesn't respond to effort, it responds to. And effort is the opposite of certainty. It's doubt in disguise. That's why you can visualize for hours and still feel empty. Why you can script until your hand cramps and nothing changes. You're treating manifestation like a transaction. If I suffer enough, the universe will pay me, when it was never supposed to hurt. Now, here's the twist that changes everything. Manifestation isn't about. It's not about adding more techniques. It's about stripping away the resistance you didn't even know you had, because your desires are already yours. The bridge of incidents is already in motion. But every time you check for results, every time you anxiously wonder, is it working? You're pulling the emergency brake on the universe's delivery truck. And this is where Neville's most misunderstood teaching comes in. The Sabbath. Not a day of the week, a state of mind. The moment you stop laboring, stop calculating, stop begging the universe like a debtor, that's when the miracle happens. But here's the catch. You can't fake it. You can't pretend to let go while secretly white-knuckling your desire. The brain knows the difference between surrender and suppression. So the question is, how do I manifest? It's, why am I still resisting what's already mine? Here's the exact 300-word breakthrough section. The moment you stop trying to manifest is the moment everything changes. Neville Goddard called it the Sabbath, not a day of the week, but a state of mind where you finally stop laboring for your desire. Most people miss this because they're too busy doing the work, visualizing, scripting, repeating affirmations until their throat hurts. But here's the brutal truth. If you're still trying, you're telling your subconscious one thing: I don't have this yet. And so the universe mirrors back lack. Think about the last time something came effortlessly into your life. Maybe it was a parking spot that opened up just as you arrived, or a text from someone you just thought about. No effort, no strain. Just flow. That's the secret Neville never shouted about. Manifestation works best when it feels like remembering, not begging. When you're in a state of relaxed certainty, like recalling what you ate for breakfast, your brain doesn't fight it. There's no resistance. Neuroscience proves this. When you force visualization, your prefrontal cortex lights up with effort, screaming, "This isn't real yet." But when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, truly, deeply, without contradiction, your brain treats it as fact. That's why people manifest miracles after giving up. They stopped arguing with reality and slipped into the Sabbath. So here's your shift. Stop visualizing from a place of lack. Start living as if it's already done, not by straining to believe, but by releasing the need to convince yourself. The paradox: the less you do, the faster it comes. Because manifestation isn't about effort, it's about alignment. And alignment feels like relief, like exhaling after holding your breath for years. That's when the universe rushes in to match you. So here's what changes today. You stop and start. You stop repeating affirmations like a beggar and start whispering your desire once with the quiet certainty of someone who already owns it. You don't visualize your dream job. You're the relief of having it, the way you'd feel after a long vacation, natural, effortless. The moment you drop the mental struggle, the universe rushes in to match you. Test this tonight. Instead of scripting or obsessing, close your eyes and it's done. Feel the satisfaction of already holding it. Then walk away. That's the Sabbath, the sacred pause where you stop chasing and let the world rearrange for you. Notice how the need to make it happen dissolves. That's when the calls come, the opportunities appear, the pieces click. Your only job now, stay in that knowing. Not desperate, not doubting, just amused, watching how life bends to meet you. The bridge of incidents has already begun. All you have to do is stop building it.